Girls of Reddit, how do you flirt? Repeated eye contact, especially when there's no reason for me to be looking. If you catch a girl staring in the middle of a lecture, she probably wants to talk to you. I catch a girl at work looking at me all the time. She's hot as hell. She's also literally half my age, and I'm happily married. Nice to know I've still got it though. It's been a while since I flirted, but when I like someone I can't help but give them little compliments. Genuine ones obviously. My flirting personality isn't too different from my normal personality though. Lots of smiling, laughing, jokes. Probably slightly more eye contact. When I first told my S/O that I loved him, he told me he already knew by the way I looked at him. I think it's 80% subconscious. The eyes, Chico. They never lie. Seriously now, there's so many things implicit in a behavior that tells someone likes you, but the eyes are the most telling. A friend of mine recently confessed she's really into me. I just laughed and said I know. She got way more touchy all of a sudden, but I could tell by her eyes. The way she looked at me or when I started talking, the way she looked and tried not to look at me while I was looking away, the side eye and smiles during silence. We give a different look to someone we're attracted to without realizing, but I try to make it explicit as hell when I'm attracted to someone. That's how I flirt. LMAO, look at this. *SLIDES phone with funny relevant meme asterisk. Repeat until he falls in love with me. I exchanged numbers with my SO by sending him a meme after our first OkCupid date. He later admitted, when very drunk, that it was so perfect he told his friends later that night he had just met his forever person. I also know he stalks my Reddit, so I love BBY even when you creep in. My HS crush and I, we are talking online one night while I was doodling. He told me I should doodle a cartoon of him storming a castle with a sword and shield, so I did. I was absolutely trying to get this boy. I gave it to him at school the next day, and I'm told that apparently sealed the deal for him. He never expected I'd actually show it to him. Funny thing is he was talking to me that night about how he kinda liked these other two girls, and wasn't sure if he should pursue either of them. I knew both of these girls, and he had no idea apparently that I was into him. As soon as I gave him the doodle he was apparently like, oh, well, frick, I want her. I don't flirt, I just tell them straight if I like them. Worked every time. By worked every time I mean they didn't burst out laughing. They respected what I just said. Some said they liked me back, some said they didn't, but it wasn't awkward, really. They seemed to really appreciate the blunt honesty. Honestly, if I really like a guy, I first try to become friends with him. Talk a lot, give genuine answers, but change the words, so he will like the answer more. When he asks me a question, I try to learn as much as possible about him, and find common interests. I'll talk to him for literal hours, and laugh at every joke he makes. I'd do that anyway cause my humor is shit. I will look at his face while talking to him, just so I can remember the color of his eyes, where the dimples in his face are, and the very light freckles he has on his face. Then, once I'm sure I really like him, and not just his looks, I tell him. Then I'll see where it takes me. I've had a guy tell me he liked me back, and we ended up dating for some time. I've also had a guy reject me so hard I wanted to jump off a bridge, but I moved on. My crush was getting an award at school. They come to let you know beforehand in class, so you know that you have to show up and should bring your parents etc. When he was informed, I thought I was being clever and teasingly said, what are you getting an award for? Being in a hole? My 10th grade English teacher was not happy. So, I don't know how to flirt. Makes a good short story though. Could even use it. Say said story and pose the question, if they are in a hole too? Said in an appropriate manner, not accusatory. Prime opportunity to test their ability to navigate such a question while remaining flirtatious. Though don't listen to me, I don't know what the frick I'm talking about. Any of the following depending on who it is. Look at them for 3 seconds from across the room. Tell a funny and weird fact. Memes. Pretend I absolutely hate them. Like everyone else on Reddit, I can't flirt. See, I think my standard personality is flirty because guys always think I'm into him when I'm not. I tend to be friendly, crack dumb jokes and smile a lot. Smile, giggle, fidget with hair, keep eye contact, light touching on his arm, hands or leg. In my experience this only works to get girlfriends, though men can be brick walls sometimes. Men are probably picking up on your signals, but are reluctant to make a move until you give them something definite. For every woman who says, I took off all my clothes in his bedroom, and he still didn't get the hint, there is another who will say, all I did was take off my clothes in his bedroom, and he thought that meant I was into him. When people like Aziz Ansari can be labeled as old predator for not asking his date which type of wine she wanted, you can't be too careful. A combination of things. Proximity, sit next to them or close, go out of my way to see them, hang out with them often, ask if they are going to events, invite them places, work together, etc. Talking, use of 20 questions to get to know them better and ask personal questions without it being awkward. I don't play the game 20 questions, I just ask the questions from it. I also compliment them. I take note, if he gets a new sweater or haircut, maybe I noticed he has green eyes, then he gets to look at yours, because I've never noticed you had green eyes, they're so nice. Thanks. What color are yours? Or something unique he does. Small things like a different hair part, handwriting or doodles, small facial features, heck, even nice cuticles or something. Physical stuff, touch is huge. A touch on the shoulder or arm. Complaining that my hands are cold works great because they are always cold and the guy can offer to warm them. I try to dress in what I feel most confident in. Play with my hair. Usually no makeup. I don't usually wear it, so I don't change that for anyone. I use body language too. I point my feet towards them, bat my eyelashes, give full eye contact for 3 seconds at a time, sit forward in my chair. Might let them catch me staring once in a while too. Asking them the question wrong when I know the answer. Like, for example, asking someone what they're doing with their GF for Valentine's Day. When I know they don't have a GF. They obviously say I don't have a GF. Then I get to say, what? No way. But you're such a nice guy. If you don't know the answer and they say they have a GF, then it wasn't as direct as just asking if they have one. You save face either way, and it's a great indirect way of getting info. I also don't steer clear of asking for their number. I skip the whole Instagram thing, since I don't have social media, which also makes things easier. I don't have social media, so I get a phone number instead of a Snapchat. I send lots of memes too. Sometimes I will ask them for memes, and trade memes. Adds to the conversation, and you eventually get inside jokes. I be myself too, because I want someone who likes me for me. My best friend does stuff like that. When we are out for a meal, or having tea at her house, she won't take a seat opposite me. She'll either sit at 90 degrees to me at the table, or next to me on the sofa, so close that our elbows get in each other's way, or she'll mimic my usual legs crossed sitting position in such a way that the soles of our feet will sometimes touch. She also made a point of getting me to look at an unusual feature in one of her eyes more than once. She'll sometimes compliment me on my clothes and such. When we say goodbye we always hug and they linger, and when she pulls away she pulls her hands across my back and holds onto my arms, just for a moment, before letting go, then says goodbye in a really cheery voice, then runs off. Whenever she goes home to visit her folks she brings back gifts. I'm probably reading too much into it, but we've become very close in the relatively short time we've known each other, to the point that other people have assumed we were a couple, and I'm really not sure what's going on. Ask you for your number, because life isn't going to happen to me. I have to make it happen. Text/Snapchat constantly. Send you things with I saw this, and it reminded me of you / seems like something you'd like / thought it was really interesting. Meet up for an actual date. Probably talk your ear off because I'm nervous. Want a hug / kiss goodbye. Too awkward and chickened out. Text you later saying I chickened out and wanted to actually kiss. Meet up later in the night and frick. Become official after being committed, but not social media official, and determining you're a human being I could spend the rest of my life with. So far we've been together for a year plus, and officially dating since April. When I was crushing on my now boyfriend, I'd do the usual girl flirty things, laughing at all of his jokes, making myself physically close to him, etc. But I also did this thing where I started bopping his nose at random. I can't remember if he started it or I started it, but we started making it a thing, and eventually it became a challenge to see who could make it to 100 books first. When we started dating, I remember asking him, wait, is this flirting? And he said, oh yeah, definitely. Well, I guess it worked, cause we're still together 4 months later.